So yeah, we started this Facebook series about I believe it was in November, and we decided to skip for the holidays. But we had so much fun. It was such a great turnout for the very first Facebook Live video that we thought, why not do it every single month? So we're pretty excited. The schedule is going to be essentially probably GSelector and Zetta, rotating between January, February, on and off months. So this month we do have GSelector, and just want to say I have my notes over here on the right-hand side. So yeah, we're very, very excited to be here. We're in our demo room here in White Plains, New York, just above New York City. We're actually getting ready to retool this room. We got fancy new TVs over here behind me. So we're very, very excited in the months to come. If you are in the greater New York area and you want to swing by and talk about GSelector, talk about Zetta, definitely reach out. We are here. We would love to have some people in these seats and enjoying all of the cool software we have. So if you ever want to stop on by, let us know. Ways you can contact us. We created an email account just for these Facebook Live videos. It is live@rcsworks.com. Again, that's LIVE at rcsworks.com. Yes, we are Eastern time for our European viewers. You can always view this video afterwards. We're going to have a link on YouTube, and of course, Facebook is going to share it as well. And before I forget, make sure that we're recording the Facebook and the YouTube stream, so that's good. And also, you can email me if you want. It's nmumford at rcsworks.com. That's N-M-U-M as in Mary, F-O-R-D, at rcsworks.com. And I want to give a big shout-out to our friends over at Multicam. They brought us these really fancy HD cameras, and I have to show you our cool little interface here. So that is over there. That's John. You wave hi if you would like to. Corey next to him. And that is me over there. So it's really cool. They have HD cameras set up for any kind of configuration. If you're interested in any kind of multicam setup or any questions you may have, you can reach out to your local RCS sales rep. We're more than happy to help you out. Generic email, I believe, is sales@rcsworks.com if you don't know your representative. So a couple announcements here. Before I forget, we will be at this year's CRS. We are very excited because we are going to be debuting our GSelector certification course. What is the certification course, you ask? Well, it is a way we thought that we wanted to spread for this year knowledge and education at RCS. And we thought, what better way than offering a course from the opening GSelector to the troubleshooting of GSelector and everything in between. And that's our GSelector certification program. It's module-based with different exercises and quizzes. And the idea is that we want to really challenge you but educate you on GSelector. So the idea is that when you're all said and done, you are GSelector certified. You can put on your LinkedIn profile that you are certified. You can put on your resume that you're certified. And you're actually added to a special elite list here at RCS. So if we have any prospective employers that are essentially looking for maybe a new programmer, music director, they might reach out to us and say, hey, Nate, do you know anybody who is great and proficient in GSelector? And it just so happens that we have a list of all of those who have completed the GSelector certification course, or it's on LinkedIn, as I said, as well. So very excited about that. So at this year's CRS over in Nashville, we'll be there on the Thursday. We have a demo of the certification program, and we'll have a bunch of seats available. You can reach out to us. Again, the quick email is just live@rcsworks.com. We'll point you in the right direction. And we'll have essentially demoing the certification program. You'll actually be able to take one of the lessons there that day, and we have some prizes and goodies to give away as well. So very excited about that. We also, of course, have NAB this year. Very excited, of course, as always. But this year in particular, we have something really, really exciting. You've heard me tease about this beforehand, and the reason I can't say much about it is because we're really, really excited. And when I mean excited, this is like the next 10 years of radio. And that is going to be our Zetta cloud-based disaster recovery. This is going to be essentially, it's going to be huge. A game changer for radio. And at NAB this year, we're going to be able to actually showcase and demo for you what it looks like. So we're really, really excited. And who knows, maybe we'll have a Facebook Live event down the road. But if you want to be the first one to see our Zetta cloud-based disaster recovery, you got to see us this year, NAB, CRS as well. So any questions? I have the comments going over here. And then I have it where I can also have it to where, let's see here, I have the comments on here, the live at rcsworks.com, and a whole bunch more. So I thought we'll just dive right in and we'll go from there. So The first thing I want to talk about for today is the to-go aspect and how we have the mobile aspect of GSelector. The current modern programmer is definitely not locked into any particular room, be it a studio or their office. They're always running around and doing something. And that is why we created the Selector to Go. And this essentially is an HTML page. You can access it right to your server. I don't know if you actually know this, but if you have GSelector right now, you actually have Selector to Go. It's on your machine as we speak. That's right. Most people don't realize they have it, but it is part of your contract. And you could simply just go to your GSelector server, type in GSelector2GO, and you can log in and access your information wherever you are. So any of the questions about setting that up, you can definitely contact support. Or again, we have the live at rcsworks.com. We will point you in the right direction. So since last time I was using Chrome, this time around I'm using Firefox just to be an equal opportunity. And so I have here, this is my Selector2GO page right now. I'm going to sign in as an administrator. If you're wondering what my login is, as you normally just go to GSelector, it opens up automatically, then most likely your username is administrator with no password. Just so you know, that's the default, and a lot of users have that there. I'm going to click enter here. You'll see from the very top, these are the stations that I have here, and I have it where I can go and essentially look at a whole different other options. So I have the library if I wanted to. I can take a look at my library options, a simple click over here. You'll see that on the left-hand side, it reopens back up. I can look at my library, browse, my category changer. That's all here as well. I can move stuff as I wanted to, just like in the GSelector version. I can jump over here to the scheduler if I wanted to. And looking at the scheduler here, I can pick a certain number of date ranges. I can schedule. I can unschedule accordingly if I wanted to. And the big thing here is the actual editor itself. So when we talk about GSelector to Go, one of the things I want to really hit home is the fact that with Zetta and GSelector, there's 100% live integration, and nobody else can offer that. And what that means is essentially when I make a change in Zetta, it reflects in GSelector. When I make a change in GSelector, it gets reflected in Zetta. And that also applies for the to-go aspect as well. So I'm going to jump to my 11 o'clock here. We're on the 17th. We are at 11 o'clock. I'm going to jump in and just, actually for argument's sake, I'll jump to noon. And you'll see here, first song I have here is the Mighty Mighty Boss Stones, the impression that I get. And I can simply use the same exact control as I had beforehand. I can hit K on here. That will bring up my packet. I have the impression that I get and Biz Marquee, Just a Friend, because those are my two go-to songs here in the RCS demo room. I will pick the Just a Friend song, hit enter. And you'll see here, it is immediately in my Selector to Go log. And if I jump to my Zetta and I jump to noon, you'll see once again, there's Biz Marquee, Just a Friend. So for a second here, I want you to think about your current setup and how you're using your GSelector and your automation system, be it Zetta or something else. And you're on the road. Let's just say something happens, you have to go to a concert, and that music log isn't exactly done yet, or let's just say we always use that example here. There's an artist passed away and you want to insert them in the log. What can you do? And you're at home. Do you want to drive all the way into the studios to make one song change? You really don't have to anymore. You can just go to your Firefox, Chrome, whatever, and you can jump in here and make the changes and you can submit them accordingly. And of course, when you have Zetta integrated, everything here done is in live and real time, which is very, very cool. Just so you know, if you don't have Zetta as your automation system, there are ways you can configure your selector to export a log. Obviously, it's not as easy as integrated with Zetta, but we can make that work for you as well. And of course, in 4.7.0, that just released about a couple weeks or months ago, we have a brand new feature in Selector to Go, which is the linker aspect. So I can essentially double-click on one of these links here. This is brand new to 4.7.0. And yes, you can upgrade accordingly. It's all part of your support contract if you have that. So you can see over here, I have linker. I have the same options I had in the linker and the GSelector portion. I have the media ID, the runtimes, all that good stuff, the characteristics down below if I wanted to. And then I have the category changer as well. So I can go and take certain categories, move them accordingly, whatever I want to do. So essentially, that is brand new in Selector to Go, and we have a very cool feature that John and I were debating about talking today, but we decided that we would save it for the next GSelector live Facebook, and that's going to be probably in March. This is cool. 471, that's the release date. It's going to be sometime around March, and we're really excited to show you, but I can't talk about it just yet. Just know there's your teaser for the next GSelector Facebook Live event. And also, just before I forget, we had the analysis here too, some tools as well. But again, basic features and your GSelector2GO. And if you're integrated with Zetta, 100% integration, you can go and make any changes and move it across the board. Again, live at rcsworks.com. We are live here in the White Plains demo room just above New York City. If you have any questions, let us know. I'll do a quick little run through here. So, yeah, so we have Chris. Chris had a question. He's got an iPad. So, Chris, can he run GSelector2GO on his iPad? The answer is yes. So you can see up here, this is my URL. I'm using Firefox right now. You can use Chrome. You can use Microsoft Edge. You can be Apple or Android. Doesn't matter. When we designed this, we wanted GSelector2GO to be not an app, but HTML. And by doing so, we can actually go and use across the platforms. And that means no accessing a digital store, or you have to download the app, you have to update the app. None of that. All you have to do is literally have it to where, go to your URL. Obviously, you want a VPN in because we want security reasons too. So if you have a VPN, you want to make sure that at least you have some security. Nobody can just jump in and access your data. So VPN into your GSelector server, access it. Android, Apple, iPhone, iPad, Firefox, Chrome. I think I'm missing Safari if you want to as well. That's in there too. And again, with Zetta, you have a synchronous live integration as well. So that's all there live in real time. Very, very cool. So we are at my halfway point over here. So that's perfect. So we're going to jump into the second aspect, which is going to be the new year, new you. That's the radio guy in me trying to tell you some cool new ways how you can go and use GSelector to schedule your log. So there's some cool aspects here. We can have it to where I just wanted to inspire you as a programmer to do something different this year. Maybe you're heard the phrase of A to Z weekends, maybe a throwback weekend, block party weekend, 2 for Tuesdays, along those lines. Any kind of new, interesting program you may have. We thought about maybe doing some fun New Year features to kind of inspire you, if you will, here in Facebook. So I am currently on my GSelector here. I am running 470.194, just so you know. And I have my library and browse open over here. One of the first things I want to show you, which John was very excited about for our version 15 and for our European users as well, in 470, we've included the inline editing function. You might ask yourself, what is inline editing? And if you remember 15, you can edit any of these cells by a flick of a switch. So we kind of customized that and made it a little more advanced with technology. And I have this icon over here. This is essentially an on-off switch. So what I can do here is I can click that on. You'll see it's red. And I now have new options here. So if I wanted to go and change the category, I can simply click on this icon here and change it to, we'll just say, my CD1 category. And that is changed. If I have to change the title of something, I can merely go in here, go to the very end, and I'll just put my usual test on there and hit enter, and that's all good. And if I want to turn off, I simply just go and click, and you'll see that these icons disappear, and I can't make any changes whatsoever, which is very helpful if you're in GSelector, you see something that's on the fly, maybe Shania Twain has an extra space in there or 2 A's, and you want to make a quick switch. All I got to do is click on the inline editing, make your change, boom, and you're done. I want to point out, too, keyboard shortcuts. I don't know if you know this, but obviously GSelector, coming from version 12, if you're a keyboard person or if you're a mouse person, we get a mixture of both. Both work in GSelector, and you can actually look at the shortcuts. They're hidden behind what the actual function of the icon is. So you can see here it says inline edit, spacebar, control spacebar. So I could go on this cell here, hit the spacebar. Well, now I can go back into that test. I can go ahead and delete this here. Hit enter, and if I'm done, I can click control spacebar, and that turns off. So if you are a keyboard person, you want to kind of type quickly, jump in, spacebar, make the change, control spacebar, that turns off inline editing. And don't forget as well, we have this screen here, kind of treated as almost Excel. In case you don't know, just to familiarize people with this, I can go here if I wanted to, and I can search by title, and and hopefully I have a song with a U on it. I do. So there's my song over there. I can simply just type in UH, and that search is there. I can click on artist, and I can go to, let's say, U2, for example, and I don't have any U2 songs in here right now, but we'll do the Who. How's that? I'll type in Who, and the Who is down there near the bottom. So you can always use that quick search functionality as well. Any columns you want to include, you can do that. One of the great attributes I always like to tell people is having something unique like this attribute here I have is WRCS Core Artist, that I have some restrictions and some goals in my log, and I have that in there too. So always very cool to do that, but I wanted to show you one particular function, and that is the Browse List. That's this icon right here. So if I click on the Browse List, it's that blue piece of paper with the pencil icon. This is available in multiple versions, not just 4.7.0, just so you know. This Browse List is essentially a way for you to isolate a group of songs. And now I know what you're saying, like, why would I want to isolate a couple songs? Well, you can do it visual purposes for maybe using the multi-song changer. That's an option. Or we can also use the Browse List as a schedule if we wanted to. So I'll show you one example of just visually speaking. I'll just take this song here, drag it over. I can use Windows short keys and do Control-Click if I wanted to and drag these songs over. I can also go over here. Oh, it's great that I showed this in the demo. If you notice, I had 3 songs selected. When I clicked a single song, GSelector is smart enough to know that I previously had 3 records chosen. If I single-click a new one, it's going to prompt you and say, wait a second, you're going to lose all of the ones you have highlighted already. Are you sure you want to do this? Yes or no? If I hit cancel, I have the same 3 songs selected. I can keep going my merry way. Or if I click it and say OK, it will give me that single click, which is a very cool function if you're working late at night and you're doing 8,000 things as a program director, and all of a sudden you forget to click something, and all of a sudden all of your clicks have washed away. But I also can do Shift-Click here on Windows if you wanted to, that as well. And I can save this if I wanted to. I'm going to show you the previous example I have created because it's going to be part of my schedule here. I'm not going to save my changes, my Browse List. Instead, I'm going to show you my Browse List that I created here, which I have dubbed so creatively the Facebook Live Throwback. And my idea here is that I wanted to create a Browse List to showcase this music log, but I also wanted to create it to use the multi-song changer to create a theme. So here you can see I dragged these songs over earlier. I have Loverboy working for the weekend because what's more radio cliche than kicking off a throwback weekend on a Friday at 5 o'clock than working for the weekend? So I have that here, and then I have Nirvana, Naked Eyes, and Vogue, and then Tears for Fears. You'll see that red line there? That red line is this bookmark up at top. And that is where essentially you can go and dictate what's the start of my Browse List. When I schedule, what's the first song that I play, and then what order is it going? It's going forward, it's going backward, and then what do I do with that Browse List? Do I stop? Do I repeat? Well, think of it this way. If I have an A to Z weekend, I don't want to repeat that Browse List. When it's done, I want you to say, there's my Z, that's the last song. But if I have a themed weekend or some kind of specialty programming, I want to repeat this process and have these songs going over and over again. So from here, I can simply double-click in Bloom, and that's going to be the new bookmark if I wanted to. I can also filter by title here. So if I was going to do an A to Z weekend, let's just say Memorial Day weekend, it's always big for classic rock stations to do A to Z weekends. Well, I can load all my songs up here, the ones that I actually care about and want to have, and I can go and filter by title, filter by artist. I can filter by attribute as well. One of the examples I like to tell people is they have, how do I schedule my logs based on research scores? Obviously, you have to have research scores ingested into your GSelector. That's a different conversation. But you have your research scores there. How do I have it where these are my better testing songs, these are my lower testing songs? What you can do here is filter on this window here on the left. You can filter here by whatever the attribute is. So we'll just say, for simple purposes, we'll use runtime in this example. And I can say, from this song here, I can single-click in anything that's over 5 minutes. So I can pretty much say here, anything over 6 minutes, I'll start this song and just pretty much highlight all the way down accordingly. Those could be my great testing songs. I can drag them over into my Browse List, save that, apply an attribute, use that to schedule your logs. I can go in depth, You can shoot me an email, live@rcsworks.com, or comments. We'll get back to you, let you know how you can do that, but it's a really, really cool advanced way to schedule your stuff. So in this example here, I have the Facebook Live throwback. This is a playlist I created. I've already scheduled it to save ourselves some time. But I'm going to show you over here. I'll close the browse list for right now. And I'll jump over to my filter here in GSelector. This is a visual filter that you can go and isolate songs or links or other elements. And I have here my Facebook Live throwback. By the way, this is also used in your Reports tab or your Analysis tab as well. So if you want to create any reports or look at maybe a certain set of categories, there's your browse list, save it, or you can just save the view as well, the format. So here's the songs I have. You'll see how many songs do I have. You have 5 songs, Nate. Yes, I have 5 songs. And I go to the multi-song changer. The first thing I'll tell you is, how many songs are you changing? And you'll be, Nate, I told you it's 5. How do you know? Well, we have these right here, 5 songs selected. Why is this very important? Because we know so many people that call support and they highlight their entire library and they change a category for 2,000 songs. And they call us and they say, Nate, I changed these 2,000 songs. What am I going to do? And I said, do you take a backup? And they go, no. Well, somebody's going to be changing songs during their lunch hour. That's just how it works, unfortunately. So, best practices. When you're in the library browse window, I have 5 songs. Multi-song changer. How many songs do we have? Somebody should put 5 in those comments for the record. We have 5 comments. There we go. So there's the 5 songs selected. And, of course, if I wanted to, I can go over to my attributes. I can turn on an attribute to add one. Go to my edit. You can see here I have station theme throwback weekend. I can drag this over here. Click close. I can save this. I've already done this, so I'm not going to do it again. I'm going to cancel my changes because you can see here, my library browse, I created a new format called Facebook Live Throwback. And in that filter here, that browse format, I have Throwback Weekend here as my station theme. So I have 2 kind of ways that I can schedule my music log here. I have a theme. I can schedule a station theme throwback weekend, or I can schedule a browse list. The difference in the two is that browse list will play in the order I dictate it to, whereas the station theme will respect the priority list. So if there's certain things you have that you want to have some minimum separations or some spread goals in there, yeah, you might want to use station theme. But if you want something to play in A to Z weekend, I don't care about goals. I don't care about rules. Just play this. That's going to be the browse list. So I created a clock for this exact exercise. I'm going to jump to my clocks tab here, and I believe I called it Facebook Live Throwback Clock. You can see here that I have essentially a browse list, Facebook Live Throwback. There's 5 of them. Then I have the theme song Throwback Weekend, and then another browse list, Facebook Live Throwback. Working this window here, just some quick suggestions. I always like to tell people to double-click when they jump around here, because if you single-click, you're single-clicking on the row, and then you're single-clicking on the actual cell. So if I've just learned from my personal experience, if I'm bouncing around here, I'm double-clicking, double-clicking, double-clicking. It just saves you a couple minutes here and there when you're doing all these clock changes. So you can see here, I have everything assigned over here. This clock is finalized. Now I want to make sure I want to add this clock into a grid and add that grid to a schedule. If you notice here, we have clocks. There's the assignment. I'm going to assign that clock to a grid. Then I'm going to assign that grid to a schedule. Kind of a little pyramid of scheduling clocks over here. Assign the grid to a schedule. You can see over here, there's my default grid. And then I have for just today only, I have my Facebook Live January 19th. And in that grid, I went ahead and I changed our Thursday at 11 to have our special grid in there too. So that's already done. I went and did the schedule already. If I jump into my editor, in fact, I could have just do my on-air button if I really wanted to, because I am live integrated with my Zetta. I can jump to my 11 a.m. here, and you'll see this is how it's formatted. These colors are all customizable. Just be aware you can do that as well. And you can use the browse list also for charts. This is why John's here. Thank you, John. And so from here, you can see I have my Loverboy, Working for the Weekend, Nirvana, Naked Eyes, and Vogue, Tears for Fears, and then it repeats again from the station theme, and then so on and so forth. So this is what we have over here to schedule. Again, you can do the theme song, and the theme song will essentially respect the priority list, whereas Browse will schedule everything, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or A to Z. So, with that being said, we went ahead, we did the scheduling. We looked about to-go aspects as well. So we had the GSelector2GO. We had the Browse scheduling. Look at some questions we have as I'm going through. I'll have you guys look at some of the questions here. I do know we had from beforehand. We had Steve commented earlier and said, can we have a bulk method to create repeated weekly links that have the same day part restrictions in categories? Example, weekly promos. There's so many ways you can do this. It really depends on your library. I will give you one way, and then definitely feel that this might be the best thing for you, or just one of the options. You could just make it simple, have one category, call it weekly promos, and you go to the hour restrictions into an actual, let's say, a sweeper if you want. So I'll just double-click the sweeper here, and I can use these hour restriction tabs right here, and essentially I would have an hour restriction for Monday through Friday. And of those restrictions, we would pretty much say you can only play during this allotment. And when it comes to morning shows, usually what happens if you have, let's say, a morning show promo, you say you can run from 10 a.m. to 5 a.m. the following day. So technically, if I'm doing my Tuesday promo can air Monday starting at 10 through Tuesday morning at 5 a.m. So you would create those hour restriction grids. Again, Chris, you want to elaborate more, let us know. Hello from Australia, by the way. I know you're viewing this at a later date. Definitely reach out to support at rcsworks.com. By the way, it goes without saying, if any of this you seem intrigued by and you want to have a further explanation, maybe a one-on-one session or wherever that is, definitely feel free to reach out to, again, our email here is live at rcsworks.com. You can email support at rcsworks.com. Or if you're interested in something here, maybe you have version 12 and you're like, wow, that GSelector2GO is pretty fancy. I want that GSelector2GO. Again, part of your contract with GSelector. You can reach out to one of your local RCS sales reps. If you don't know where that is or who that is, we'll point you in the right direction over there. Do we have any questions that I should answer in there? Going once, going twice. Sold. Fantastic. Want to reiterate one more time again, NAB this year, we are going to be there broadcasting live as always. We have our nice, big, fancy booth. Please stop on by and say hi. If you have something you want to go over, because I know a lot of times engineers and program directors want to have a certain topic they want to get addressed, reach out. Now is the time, because we can book a time at NAB and help you out and go over one-on-one. And before I forget, the Zetta cloud-based disaster recovery, it is going to be a game changer for the industry. And we're going to showcase that for the first time ever at NAB. You're not going to miss that. And CRS this year, about less than a month away or something like that. We have CRS. You can stop on by. Thursday morning, we have the GSelector certification program. Gets you qualified, gets you locked in that LinkedIn, the resume builder, and the knowledge as well. So you can be a GSelector expert. That's very cool. Got a lot of prizes to give away, and we'll be doing one module with everybody that's there. Sign up is required, so again, you can reach out to us. We'll help you out and get you signed up for that. And I totally forgot too. Friday morning at CRS, we are doing a special one-on-one kind of a getting to know your library and your database. You can sign up for it, very similar to the certification program. You sign up, and we want you to bring your databases. Bring your databases, bring your questions, bring your scheduling, and say, hey, Nate, I'm looking to do this. Or, Nate, I want to do that. Or I want to do a theme weekend. I heard about you talking about the theme weekend. Or help me set up my GSelector2GO. We're going to have essentially one-on-one sessions on that Friday morning at CRS. Have to sign up, though. So reach out to us. We'll get you sign up. We'll talk about it. And we want, again, our goal for this year over at RCS is to educate and bring you knowledge throughout the year as well. So I told you 11:30. It's 11:31. We've everything to hit up. Last thoughts? I think we're all good. I am Nate. Feel free to email me at mumford@rcsworks.com. That's John. That's Corey. We'll post this again on YouTube, and it'll be available for Facebook as well. Any questions, live at rcsworks.com. We'll see you next time. Bye.